He hid his affair by pretending to care for his mother. When I found out, I filed for divorce. Hello everyone, I need your advice. For almost a year now, it feels like I don't have a husband anymore. Technically, he's still here, but he's so rarely present in our family life that sometimes I barely notice him at all. I really need your advice because I don't know how to tell him that he's needed not only where he spends all his time now, but also here with us. Let me explain a bit about our family. I'm 36, my husband is 38. We've been married for 13 years. We have 3 kids, 11, 7, and 4 years old. We live in the suburbs of Chicago, in our own house that we bought 5 years ago. We're close to paying off the mortgage. We both work. I'm in IT support, and my husband works in construction. We earn about the same, and always had a clear division of expenses. I paid for utilities, food, and the kids, while he handled the mortgage and other major payments. A year ago, his mother became seriously ill. It was a shock for us, and as her only son, my husband started visiting her often, helping with daily tasks and her medical care. At first, it was just visits, but then he said his mother needed financial help because her insurance didn't cover everything. So, we agreed. For 2 months, I would take over his part of the mortgage and some household expenses, so he could send most of his salary to his mom. The first 2 months, I endured it, because I understood it was the right thing to do. But then, he said things weren't getting better and asked for 2 more months. Then another 2, and now 8 months have passed. He's still sending most of his money to his mother, and he's rarely home, either at work or with her. Sometimes he even spends the night there when she's not feeling well. I respect his mother. I know she needs support, but it's hard to carry the whole family almost alone. And I feel like he's drifting away from us. So how do I tell my husband that we need him too, without making him feel like I'm against his mother? Update. Thank you all so much for your advice and support. Honestly, I never expected so many people to respond and write to me. A lot of you mentioned one thing I had never even thought about: an affair. I mean, we always had strong families around us, and we were always so close. I just never thought it could even be possible. But after reading your comments for the first time, I started to feel doubt. And I decided to see for myself what was really going on. Trip to his mother. I rarely visited his mom myself. We had a good relationship, but with 3 kids and work, I just didn't have the time. And when my husband said, "Mom is having a hard time, I need to be there for her," I thought it would be wrong to intrude. We only called her on holidays, sometimes on video, and that was it. So I drove there, unannounced, and on the way my head was spinning. Why am I doing this? If he finds out, it'll be a huge fight, and if everything is fine, then I'm just a paranoid fool. When she opened the door, I froze. She looked energetic, not sick at all. "Oh, Caroline, what a surprise. How are the kids?" She smiled. "They're good, thanks. How are you feeling?" "Oh, I've been fine for a while now. After that complication earlier this year, I recovered quickly. Now I just see a doctor once a month for checkups, but I live like normal." "Does Tom help you out? Does he come often?" "Well, he used to, yes, especially at first. When I needed it, he even stayed overnight sometimes. But for the last 6 months, maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, to grab groceries, take out the trash, just small things. I manage on my own. I don't need much help." "And what about money? Does he support you financially?" "No, why would he? I'm fine. I don't need it. He tried to give me money once, but I refused. I told him, 'Tom, I'm fine. Didn't he tell you that?'" I froze. No, he never told me that. Thoughts and questions. The drive back home was torture. If he's not spending all this time with her and he's not giving her money, then where is it going? Is he just looking for an excuse to stay away from the family? Or is this really an affair? I had never allowed myself to think like that before. But now, those thoughts wouldn't leave me alone. What should I do? How do I even find out if he's cheating or not? Should I talk to him directly, check his phone, ask his coworkers? Or am I just making up scary stories in my head? The talk and the first signs. After visiting his mother, I spent days trying to gather my thoughts. Inside, two voices were fighting. You have to talk to him, and you're just being paranoid. In the end, I decided to talk. Conversation with my husband. When the kids were asleep, I walked up to him. Tom, we need to talk. Did something happen? He didn't even look up from his phone. I went to see your mom yesterday. He froze for a moment, then calmly nodded. And how is she? She said she's doing well, she doesn't need financial help, and that you don't actually visit that often. He put the phone down and sighed deeply. Caroline, I know what you're getting at, but it's not that simple. Sometimes mom just needs company, and I don't want to burden you with all the details. And yes, I helped her financially when she had bills, but I didn't want to stress you about it. But she said you don't give her money. She doesn't like to talk about money, and honestly, I'm tired of discussing this. Can we drop it? He stood up and walked to the bedroom. The conversation ended, like I was just picking a fight out of nowhere. Doubt. That night, I barely slept. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm overreacting. But why didn't he tell me his mom was already better? Why is he so cold now? Over the next few days, I noticed small things I had ignored before. He started putting his phone on silent and laying it face down. Sometimes he stepped outside in the evening to make work calls. He never used to do that. And he suddenly had a new shirt and expensive cologne because clients were visiting the office. Checking his phone. One evening while he was in the shower, I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed his phone. He hadn't changed his password, which somehow felt both comforting and terrifying. At first, everything looked normal, but then I saw a new contact. No photo, just the letter K. And the chat? Most of it was deleted. Only a few messages remained. When can you come? I miss you. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. The decision. I put the phone back and sat on the bed, shaking. Who is this K? Why is he deleting their messages? Is she a colleague, or is this an affair? That night, for the first time, I felt real fear of losing my family. What should I do next? Follow him, hire someone, confront him again, or just leave if he confirms my worst fears? Update 2 months later. Hi everyone. First of all, thank you to everyone who supported me after my last post. Your words and advice meant so much to me. Honestly, deep down I already knew it was probably an affair, but back then I still had doubts. And I decided I need to know for sure. After my talk with Tom, he did change a little. He started spending more time at home, more time with the kids. He even began paying his share of the mortgage again. It felt like he realized I was pulling away and tried to fix it. And that was painful because I couldn't trust him like before. So I decided to do my own little investigation to close this question once and for all. Following him and finding proof. First, I put a GPS tracker in our car. Then, I checked his bank statements, and I saw strange, regular payments at a restaurant, a place we had never been to together. The same day he told me he was working late. One evening, I asked my friend to follow him. He told me he was going to help his mom. She sent me pictures of him leaving a hotel with a woman, not a coworker, not anyone we knew, a stranger. A few days later, I followed him myself. He went to the same hotel again. This time, there was no doubt left. I gathered everything, photos, receipts, GPS logs, even his deleted messages to Kay, which turned out to be nothing but confessions of love, emotions, and fear. And now, I'm sitting here with all of this, knowing I can't live with this man anymore. I've decided to get a divorce, but I'm terrified. We have 3 kids, a mortgage, shared property. I'm used to this life, to having him next to me. Even after the betrayal, and yes, I still have feelings for him. Feelings mixed with anger and pain. I'm scared of the future. How will I manage everything alone? How will the kids handle it? And how concerned to go the kids? What happens our divorce? How happens our direction? What happens to our house and our finances? Part of me wants to close my eyes and pretend nothing's happening. Because he's trying now, trying to look like a good husband again, but I can't unsee what I've seen. The question, How do I even do this? Do I just tell him straight and walk away, talk to a lawyer first? Should I give him a chance to explain, or is that pointless when I already have all the proof? I know this is the end, but I'm scared to take the first step. Update: the divorce decision in process. Hi everyone. First of all, I want to thank all of you who stood by me this whole time, who wrote, who supported, who gave advice. I read every single comment and message, and it really helped me realize I'm not alone. Thank you all so much. Over these weeks, I did a lot of thinking and a lot of talking with people close to me. I told everything to my best friend. I spent hours discussing it with my mom. I decided not to tell my dad yet. He would have taken it too emotionally, and I didn't need that pressure. And in the end, I made my decision. I'm getting a divorce. The lawyer and the papers. I found a family law attorney in Chicago. She helped me organize everything, gather the evidence, file the paperwork, and plan the next steps. On her advice, I opened a separate bank account and temporarily moved with the kids into an apartment closer to their school. The attorney immediately filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. When I handed Tom the papers, it was one of the hardest nights of my life. We sat at the kitchen table. I slid a folder with all the proof across to him. He sat there in silence for a long time, then said, "Caroline, I'll fix this. Please, don't do this." But it was too late. I told him, "You made your choice. I'm making mine. The court and the settlement." The legal process took about 2 months. We reached an agreement through our lawyers so it wouldn't drag on for years. In the end, the house stayed with me and the kids, but I had to pay Tom for his share of the already paid mortgage. The court gave me 5 years to pay it back in small monthly installments. The truck stayed with him. It was his work vehicle, and I never used it. Phased amounts and savings were split about evenly. He agreed to pay child support for all 3 kids and share their medical expenses. We agreed to joint custody, but the kids' primary residence would be with me. Tom gets to see them on weekends and on scheduled days. The feeling. When the judge signed the divorce papers, I didn't feel joy. I felt emptiness. Yes, I was no longer the wife of a man who cheated on me. Yes, I had protected my kids and our home. But ahead of me was a new life. And honestly, I was scared. For 13 years, I had lived with him. For 13 years, it was always us. And now, it's just me. Final update. 6 months after the divorce. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you to everyone who supported me throughout this entire story. Your words, your advice, and just your presence helped me get through. Probably the hardest period of my life. A lot of you have been asking how we're doing now, so I decided to share everything at once, and most likely, this will be my final update on this topic. The kids. For the kids, it was hard, especially for my oldest. He understood more than I thought, and he took it the hardest. We immediately started working with a child psychologist to help them adapt, and that turned out to be the right decision. In the beginning, there were so many questions. Why doesn't Dad live with us anymore? Did we do something wrong? Answering that broke my heart. But over time, they adjusted to the new routine. Tom and I agreed that I wouldn't block their communication with him. He sees the kids regularly, takes them on weekends, and spends holidays with them. I try not to speak badly about him, even when I wanted to, because I know he is their father, and he will always be in their lives. Tom's life. During the divorce, I found out that the woman he cheated on me with was a coworker. Their company forbids relationships between employees, and when that came out, he lost his job. He has a new job now. The pay is lower, but he's doing okay. As far as I know, he and that woman broke up during the divorce itself. Tom tried a few times to talk about starting over, and even now sometimes tries to reach out more than just about the kids. But I have no desire to go back. I've accepted it's over. My life. The first months after the divorce were brutal. I was scared to be alone. Scared I wouldn't manage the house and 3 kids. But thanks to child support and a recent promotion at work, I feel secure. We're not living in luxury, but we have everything we need, and I even managed to build a small safety cushion. Right now, I don't have any new relationships, and I'm not ready for that yet. I want to focus on my kids and on myself, to put my life in order and feel whole again. The takeaway. You can't change the past, but you can learn to live with it and move forward. I don't hold any anger toward Tom anymore. He is still the father of my kids, and I hope he will at least be a good example to them in that role. For myself, I learned one thing: never ignore your feelings, and never postpone the hard conversations. Thank you all again. You helped me stay strong. This is probably my last post on this topic. And to anyone going through something similar right now, stay strong. It hurts, but it's not the end. Thank you all so much for watching. The story we heard today, in my opinion, is both eye-opening and deeply emotional. It shows how devastating it is when someone you fully trusted turns out to be a betrayer. It's especially painful when you live surrounded by strong families and the thought of cheating seems distant and impossible. Our heroine never even suspected it until the readers suggested that idea. And as it turned out, the most painful blows are always the unexpected ones, when betrayal comes from the person you least suspect. I believe she did the right thing. Yes, some people choose to stay after infidelity. Some say it even makes the relationship stronger. But personally, I don't believe in that. If someone cheats, that's a red line. It destroys trust. And without trust, there is no marriage. What do you think? Write your opinion in the comments. How do you feel about cheating? And can such betrayal be forgiven? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. Good luck to you all, and see you in the next episode.